Hey guys, what is up and welcome to my channel. It's a Hardback Life. My name is Jordan and today we're going to be talking about my recent reads. And spoiler alert, I've only read 2 books for the month of February so far. And for me, obviously, that really sucks. And that is due to a lack of motivation and stress, because I've been so stressed out with work, and then my personal life has taken a turn. But we're not here to get into that. I just wanted to put that out there, though, because obviously I love talking to you guys and I love doing this. But yeah, like I said, it's been a little stressful with work and stuff, so it's made me not want to post or even film. But I'm doing this today because I want to and I need to just, I don't know, connect with you guys. I love connecting with all of you who watch my channel. With that said, alright you guys, so like I said, I've only finished 2 books so far for the month of February. And the first book I'm going to talk about is Eye of the World in the Wheel of Time series by Robert Jordan. This is the first of 14 books. 14. So this is a huge commitment. And thank God for Kate from the Literary Apothecary for being one of the hosts of this read-along. It has been really awesome that I've had other people who have joined this whole read-along thing, and it's been really awesome. Now, we started in January, which I totally forgot about until mid-January. Is when I started reading this book, and it took me 2 weeks, because technically it's taken me more than 2 weeks, like over a year, because I started this book sometime in 2022, like the beginning of 2022, and I just put it down, and I restarted it in January, like I said, and I finished it in 2 weeks because I had the audiobook, so I read along with it whenever I could physically. And I absolutely love this book, you guys. 5 out of 5 stars. I think the reason I mainly love this book is because, I mean, it's an introduction to the Wheel of Time. And this book, the first book, is very character-driven, which I'm a character-driven reader mostly. So this book was right up my alley. It was so much fun to read. It's obviously Lord of the Rings inspired. And yeah, I love books that go where the characters go on a journey. So this was fun for me. Alright, the second book, or rather play, that I finished in February is How I Learned to Drive by Paula Vogel. Now, I am a fellow thespian. I love theater. I grew up doing plays and musicals. So yeah, that's been my life. I perform, like I sing and act, and I don't dance very well, but if there's choreography that I can learn, I'll be able to pick it up and be able to make it look like I am a good dancer. But yeah, that's my life mainly. I read books and I perform by acting in plays and musicals and stuff like that. And of course, I do have a day job. But yeah, this book or play is about a girl named Little Bit. It's set in the 1950s, I think. And it's about let me just read the synopsis. A wildly funny, surprising, and Devastating tale of survival as seen through the lens of a troubling relationship between a young girl and an older man. How I Learned to Drive is the story of a woman who learns the rules of the road and life from behind the wheel. I didn't love this. I was supposed to read this actually a few years ago in my playwriting class, but we never got to it. Basically, our main character, Little Bit, is showing you bits and pieces throughout her life, and there's some heavily sexually explicit content in this play, which made me cringe. It's also powerful, but at the same time, it made me cringe, and there's also an annoying chorus group, 2 or 3 chorus groups, which I think were not necessary. I feel like they should have been split into different characters with different lines, but they were there, and they were annoying. But yeah, I gave this book play 2 out of 5 stars. So yeah, this was probably my most disappointing read of the month so far. Just putting that over there. Okay. Those were the 2 books that I read for the month of February. I almost said December for some reason so far. I'm going to show you the books that I plan on continuing, that I've already started, or books that I want to finish by the end of the month. So like I said, Kate from the Literary Apothecary is hosting a read-along for The Wheel of Time, and we are currently as a group on book 2 since it's February, and we're all at different parts in the book. Some of us at the same part. This is The Great Hunt, and I don't want to say anything more about this book because it's the sequel, the second book in the Wheel of Time series. I definitely recommend The Wheel of Time after reading the first book. I really loved it. Now the second book, I like it, but I don't love it. The second book I think is very plot heavy, like plot driven. And like I said, I do like a good plot, but when there's very little character development in a book versus heavy plot, I kind of get anxious. But I'm going to power through this because I made a commitment, and it is getting better, I will say that. But yeah, the second book is very plot heavy, so yeah. This is The Great Hunt, book 2 in The Wheel of Time. And I hope to finish it by tomorrow. I'm also doing the audiobook for it. The next book that I'm currently reading that I keep picking up and then putting back down is none other than Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. Now, everyone knows about Colleen Hoover and her books, and they also know about the scandals that are surrounding her right now. Like the coloring book and then the stuff with her son, which I'm not going to get into those, but both of those do have a connection. So if you want to go and do your research about what I'm talking about, go ahead. Or you can watch another BookTubers video who talks about it. But I'm not going to go into very much detail. I'm just It Ends With Us sometime last year. I absolutely loved that book. So I bought It Starts With Us. And then obviously I bought this one too just because I like the cover. And this book so far, I'm 140 pages in, is interesting. I'm not going to get into it too much right now. It's just interesting. And this is also my sister's favorite Colleen Hoover book that she's read so far. So I kind of want to finish it and then talk to her about it. So we'll see where that goes. So, I know a lot of you have heard that my favorite author is Cassandra Clare, and she was just here back in February 4th, so beginning of February, and I was trying to get caught up on the Shadowhunter books before she came to town. And I've read all of them pretty much, except for the last two, the most recent two books that she's put out, which is Chain of Iron and Chain of Thorns. I read Chain of Gold, which is the first book in the sequel series to Infernal Devices, which is called The Last Hours trilogy. This is book one. I've read it already, like I said, back in 2021 when it came out. But I wanted to reread it because I actually reread the Infernal Devices trilogy for the third time because it's my favorite series of all time. I reread that series last year, and I wanted to reread this one and also read Chain of Iron for the first time. But things got away from me, and I didn't find the time to completely read this before the event. So I'm reading it now again, and I'm like 162 pages in. I should finish this before the end of the month. I don't know about the other two though, because the other two get bigger, because this one's like 582 pages. The second book is 656, and then the third book I saw is 778 pages. Let me show you the pictures or the covers of the books. This is Chain of Gold. Beautiful, with Cordelia, the main character, on the cover. Cordelia again being on the cover. Chain of Iron. Oh, so beautiful. It's my favorite color, blue. With, obviously, the color yellow being of her dress. And her reddish hair, obviously. And then we have the final book, Chain of Thorns, which is a huge chunker. Obviously, they're all huge chunkers, but this one is huge. And this one's actually signed by Cassandra Clare, which I absolutely love. There's my name, Jordan, and then she signed it, personalized it. It was such a fun event, and I'll probably get into that in another video. But man, I had so much fun, and I got to connect with other like-minded fans who loved the Shadowhunter Chronicles. Oh yeah, I have more books. So one of the next books I want to talk about is 9 Liars by Maureen Johnson. This is the 5th installment in the Truly Devious series. Now, the first 3 books, Truly Devious, The Vanishing Stare, and The Hand on the Wall, are initially a trilogy, and they are a trilogy in themselves. And then the next 2 books, The Box in the Woods, and this one, are standalone novels. But they are still in the Truly Devious universe with the same characters, but just kind of separate because they're not within the school. And our main character, if you don't know the background of this series, Stevie Bell basically was invited to Ellingham Academy because she wanted to solve this 80-year-old crime surrounding the school. And that was basically her way in, because they take the best and the brightest students who have a passion for something or who have already accomplished something, and they want to dive deeper into doing more with what they have already done. And our main character, Stevie Bell, solved the 80-year-old case. I'm not going to tell you how, but yeah, she did it, and she's been given more cases. And this one is crazy because in this one, the murder happened in 1995. And it's called Nine Liars, is because there are 9 characters the book is about, and our main character Stevie has to figure out why 2 of them were murdered and how and stuff like that. I'm loving it so far. I'm 140 pages in, so I'm definitely going to do a review on this book because I've been waiting for this book as soon as I heard it was coming out, which it came out at the end of December. Really good so far. And in light of Black History Month, there are some books that I also want to read. Okay, the first book I'm going to talk about for Black History Month, these are all fantasy, it looks like, but I do want to read some literary fiction by Black authors. This one is Children of Blood and Bone. This is a fantasy set in Africa about a group of, like, a tribe, or several tribes that once had magic, but the magic was taken from them by soldiers. And our main character basically goes on a journey to try and get that magic back, while also discovering that she has magic of her own that she didn't know about. And she teams up with some very unlikely allies. And there's also a sequel called Children of Virtue and Vengeance. And the author has not released the 3rd book yet. She said that she's probably going to release it soon. So let's hope for that. The second book I want to talk about is Legend Born. Legend Born is about a girl, I forget her name. She's basically, though, our main character is basically the legacy of a university, because her mom used to go to, and she finds out the true reason of why her mom died. And while she discovers that, she also discovers that she has abilities that she knew not of. And that's all I'm going to say about it, because that's all I really know about it. And I have the sequel Blood marked right over there, so it's hiding behind my water bottle. I can't wait to read this so I can read the sequel, and the 3rd book is supposed to come out this year. Oh, this is by Tracy Dion. I hope to finish this by the end of the month. And then the 3rd book that I'm really interested in is The City We Became by N.K. Jemisin. Now, I know a lot of you are familiar with N.K. Jemisin because she's written I think it's called The Inheritance Cycle? Or is it... I think it's called The Inheritance something. But the first book in that is The Fifth Wave, and then it's the Stone Key and Obelisk Gate. All I really know about that series, because I do want to read that too, is that it's told in 2nd person, which is interesting. But yeah, this series though is set in New York, and it centers around the lives of 3 people. A young grad student, and a gallery director, and a politician. So, and they all have abilities, I guess, or something, and they end up coming together at some point. That's all I know. But I'm excited because I've never read a book by N.K. Jemisin, and I know people will probably say start with The Fifth Wave, But I don't know. I just feel like this book is calling to me because I also have the sequel to this one. So, who knows? Anyway, you guys, those were the books that I plan on reading for the month. Those were the books that I finished, and also books that I plan on reading for the rest of the month of February. So be on the lookout for my February wrap up as well as my January wrap up, because I totally forgot to do that. And then also part 2 of the book haul series that I'm doing. The first book haul of the year was posted about 10 or 11 days ago, and it was supposed to be posted on my birthday because it was called a birthday book haul. But yeah, we're just gonna call the rest of the other videos book haul part 2 and then book haul part 3. Anyway, you guys, have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you soon. Bye.